Whether you enjoy junk journaling, scrapbooking, or card making, you might be surprised how much batching can help you with your productivity as well as your overall creative process. I'd like to share some of the items I make in batches, and I'll be telling you the ways this has changed my approach to paper crafting. First, I have these mini watercolor paintings. I start with a regular sized piece of watercolor paper and I tape it off so I have a bunch of little windows to work with. Once I finish painting and let them dry, I remove the tape and I cut them down to size. These paintings have many uses, but I especially love them for travel journals. Next up, we have these great little floral bits. I've used a variety of different stamps and I've added just a hint of color with colored pencils. I like to rip the sides for a more rustic look. The paper is quite thin, which is nice for layering. I've used these for card making and junk journaling. These next pictures are all nature themed. I have trees, flowers, and landscapes, all done with pencil on a soft cotton paper. These are perfect for nature journals and journals documenting your travels. Next up, we have these tags, which are just made with some old cardstock. I used an embossing machine for mine, but the style with the straight edges can easily be cut with scissors as well. I like to use these in my junk journals or as a base for a bookmark. These next items are definitely among my favorites. I've stamped some quotes and positive messages, and I've roughed up the edges with stamp ink. I've made myself a batch of these with the ribbon and clips and a second batch without. They have many uses, from cards to bookmarks to journals. Now let's take a look at some options for you if you have access to a color printer. I like to go on Canva and create a blank template. I sort through the free elements and find tickets, stamps, birds, anything that I want to include in my projects. Canva also has filters that you can use to create more of a vintage look, for example. Or you can simply adjust the transparency levels if you want your images light and subtle. I usually print on standard printer paper because, again, thin paper is often easier to work with when you're layering. I'll include more details about Canva in the description in case you've never used it. Batching is helpful if you ever attend card making parties and you don't want to pack up a ton of supplies to bring with you. And if you ever get together with friends and family to work on art projects, you know there's always one or two people who have no clue what they want to work on. They're just there for the social aspect. But having a box of batched items available for them to sort through and use can help them spark ideas. Bead dangles I also make in batches. I'll work on these when I'm watching a movie or listening to an audiobook. Let's move on to fabrics. Here I have individual words stamped onto thin fabric, and I've used pinking shears on some of them so you get that great little zigzag edge. These next ones are similar with just more layering involved, and some long strips of fabric sewn together. My sewing machine only has a straight edge and a zigzag, but I'm sure it would be fun to play around with other options if your machine has some. I like to use these in junk journals. My fabric elements are made almost entirely from the remnants of other projects. I'd much rather see them put to use than thrown away. These next ones are made from 2 strips of paper and a single stitch holding them together. I love the look of the neutral book pages with the brightly colored flowers. And here we have paper pockets sewn together. There are so many different ways to make pockets and envelopes. Maybe I'll do a short video and share some more examples. They really can be a nice addition to your journal. Pockets can be a fun way to tuck away those extra pieces of your past that you want to hold on to. I don't know about you, but I can get overwhelmed when I feel like I have too many things I want to do. Sometimes it can actually lead to me not wanting to start at all. But by breaking down my tasks into manageable chunks, I can tackle my projects and thoroughly enjoy the process. For the last category, I'll call these bits and bobs. These are the tiny additions that can be added to almost any project to take it up a notch and enhance the overall look. There are paper frames, pennant flags, tags, labels, and my favorite are these little pieces of paper that fold around your pages. You can add them to the edge of a page, wrap it around the side, or fold it over the top. I make a bunch of these at once in a variety of colors. Then, when I need them, which is often, I have plenty to choose from. This is also a great way to use up those paper scraps that you don't want to waste. I do have some embossing tools that I use to cut these out, but it isn't a requirement for these simple designs. In fact, let's make a few right now with a pair of scissors. These are the basic shapes that can be made with a few quick snips: straight edge, pointed edge, a combination of angled and straight, a curved edge, or the flag style. Start with a rectangular strip of paper, any size and color you like, fold it in half, and make your cuts. Play around with this technique and see if you can come up with some other shapes that I may have missed. Once I'm done with the cuts, I like to take a pen and add either dots or dashes around the border so that it looks like stitches. It only takes a small amount of double-sided tape or 2 drops of glue to hold these in place. Okay, so we've established that batching can of course be convenient and save you a lot of time, but let's dig deeper into the creative benefits. I'm going to reach into my box of batched items and just start grabbing things out that look like they might sort of go together. I'll try different placements and layouts, but as you can see, I'm easily coming up with a design in a matter of seconds with very little effort. I find that batching allows me to play with options that I wouldn't normally visualize in my head, but by using what I have in front of me, I'm discovering new ways to use these elements, and I'm branching out. Okay, let's try one more. I'm starting with one larger piece that I like, and I'm working around it. I'm grabbing things that should go with the colors and shape and complement it rather than compete. So in this case, the sunflower stamp is serving as my inspiration for the rest of the page. Okay, not bad. I'm happy with how this is turning out. If I were to use this in a journal, I might add some washi tape to the background or maybe find something else to write along with the words that we have here, but it is a good start. Well, that's all I have for today. I hope you're feeling inspired to batch your paper crafts and have some fun working on a new project, or share your creations with a crafty friend. Thanks so much for watching.